Is this thing on?
Oh my God.
Let's see. I think it's on. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, you guys are
We're
here.
back
Good
again.
evening.
Hi, David.
How are ya?
Good. How are you?
Hi, honey.
Hi, sweetheart.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So,
Oh, we got the nice, comfortable
Yeah,
chairs today.
we got them today.
Oh, yeah. That's
It was
good.
nice, the ladies gave up our
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
soft seats.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
try.
So, how is everyone doing today?
Great. It's
We're
a
good.
wonderful Sunday afternoon.
It is. It
It
is.
is, yeah. Nice.
A day of rest.
Day of rest. Yes, definitely. I was working a little bit,
You
but
had to work, yeah.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
you did.
You can catch up now.
I can rest now. Yes.
Yeah.
But I hear you guys had a great meeting today.
We did. Our whole
Mhm.
team came together here at Breakwater to plan the next 2 retreats that are coming up, both this month and next month, and it was a very productive meeting.
That's
Oh,
nice.
great.
Mhm.
I came in late for that, but you guys, I heard we're talking about listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
How
yes.
important listening is in a marriage relationship.
And I know that
You know that
firsthand
to be true?
experience. Yes, it's very important. Yes, yes, and it's
Yeah.
and it's good. Your spouse feels a lot better when you listen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure.
How can you tell her, how do you know, how does she know that you're really listening to her?
Oh, when the conversation is over or during the conversation,
Mhm.
she's happy,
Uh-huh.
and she gives me a hug for listening, and
Yeah.
that's one way.
One of the things I learned early on when we were married, we've been married a little longer than you guys, is that when she's talking to me, that I don't let other things get in my head and start thinking about it, because she's got a sense about her that she can tell about that when I'm doing that in just about 6.5 milliseconds. So I'd have to stay focused, and I don't get concentrated on the football game that's going on even in back of me. I listen intently to what she's saying,
Wow.
because I might miss something if I don't.
Definitely, and that is a little tricky. As I've been practicing, I realized that when I try to listen, just things pop in my brain right away. Maybe not. I'm not even thinking of a response right away, but just thinking of stuff going on. I gotta tell myself, just
Listen.
clear my brain. Listen, pay attention, focus. Yes.
How important is eye contact when you're listening?
Oh, very important.
Yeah.
I think that kind of shows that she feels that I'm listening, right? When I'm
Yep.
giving her eye contact.
I think that happened on, when was it, Friday? That was the first time in a while that I felt he was actually listening and responsive to what I was saying.
Well, I'm learning and putting it into practice.
Mhm.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we do is we remove all the external distractions. TV goes off, iPhones go down when we are having what we call a heart talk with each other. We're talking on an emotional level. It's important to remove the distractions. And it's also, like you said, important to remove what's going on inside my head, because I could have a laundry list of things going on, and I have to remove those to really engage with him. So there are external distractions and internal distractions that take place. In order to be an effective listener, we have to remove those. I think the operative word for listening is intentional.
Intentional.
Are you anything other than eye contact that you could, that he could do so you know that he's dialed in and he's listening? Is there anything else?
For me, I guess I could tell when he's not listening because he doesn't know how to multitask at all.
I practiced a lot of that too, right? So.
Yeah, so like if I were to say something and he would just look at me but not really expressing. Sometimes he might just be there but not present. And that I can tell right away if he's not present. Then I'll get upset and I won't continue saying what I had to say.
It's a different kind of energy, don't you think?
Yes, it is.
When you're fully engaged and when you're distracted.
Mhm.
And we pick up on that energy.
Yes.
That's also part of the listening skill, is to listen for what's not being said.
Mm-hmm.
So besides energy, isn't it also tone of voice?
Yes. Very true.
Why is that important in listening?
Tone of voice can tell what kind of attitude you got. And if it's defensive, if it's saying, oh, wait a minute, this is getting a little touchy-feely, I don't like it, it comes across pretty clearly that you're not comfortable with it. And it can cause a barrier to communication.
Definitely, those are good points.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think that happened to our relationship a lot. 'Cause
All of those,
All of it.
those three examples so far.
yeah.
But we're learning, and it's a process, you know. And I think videos like this, detailing how to do it. You know, you gave the 3 steps there that go with listening. Let's say that.
One other thing that I have found is helpful is that if we're having a discussion that in order to respond and she knows that I'm getting it, that I'll, when she takes a breath, say, let me be sure I understand here, and say a few things back to her that she has said, so she knows that I am in fact, it's called clarity.
Okay.
Called clarity. Just ask a question or two, or did not ask a question, I'm sorry, that's another thing. Is just to say, let me understand what you're saying, and then repeat to her a little bit of what you've heard, so that she in fact understands, yes, you have been listening, and yes, you have understood.
Yes, things that have been working for us, that we have been trying to do, and
Yeah,
I think it's definitely working.
good.
Especially the
That's-
tone and the whole body language too, to tell.
Yes.
Because I'm more of a attitude person. If he's not paying attention, then I know he's gonna sense my body language. He's gonna speak out louder.
Body language is a large part of listening. And if you see someone and they're like this, what does that communicate to you at the time?
Attitude.
Sure, maybe I'm a little closed off. Maybe I'm not buying into what you're really saying. Maybe I don't want to receive what you're saying to me. But if I come in open-handed with my body more open, it appears that I am more engaged and more inviting than if I close up and do this.
You do that a lot?
Yeah, I do.
You do it sometimes,
I
but
do sometimes.
I think usually you're just cold.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But it could be a trust issue.
It
Yeah.
could be, yeah.
And in coaching, when we see that type of body language, that is one of the things that we ask of the person is we're trying to gauge how much they trust their spouse, because they could be taking a defensive stance, okay, rather than an open-handed stance towards their partner. Body language says a lot. And facial expressions, that's another part of body language. Okay. A scowl, rolling of the eyes. What does that say? Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not buying into this.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't believe you.
I do that a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah. I think I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do it a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think what we can gather out of this, what we've just had a few minutes of discussing, is that listening is really, really important
Yes.
to the communication that a couple has in their marriage. That it's really important to understand, it's important to stay on the same page and have a unity purpose, is to be a good listener.
Definitely.
And I'd like to offer a third component to listening, and that's inviting the Holy Spirit to be part of the conversation. Because when we do that, the Holy Spirit gives us discernment, doesn't he?
Yes.
And very often, we have to get quiet in order to listen to the Holy Spirit. So I invite couples to not be afraid of the use of silence in their conversation with each other, because it gives the Holy Spirit a chance to work, to speak to my heart, to help me with discernment, to think about the appropriate response to my husband. The Holy Spirit is a very important component of listening.
That's very true. I mean, I guess for my experience, like you said, the Holy Spirit is very important. Because what about if you're in a very tense conversation and you're not allowing the Holy Spirit to come in and flow with your spouse? And I think with our situation, there was no Holy Spirit there. There was nothing holy about any of that.
Not at all.
We were very cool with each other.
Well, sometimes we're just listening to words, and we're putting our own filter on the words instead of asking the Holy Spirit to give us a revelation about the heart of the person. And being intentional is listening from the heart.
Wow.
Good stuff, huh?
Definitely, there's definitely practical things that you can apply right away to your
Yeah.
conversation, at least the listening part, so that can definitely help. Definitely gonna help in our marriage,
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
and hopefully it'll help you guys out there too.
Yes. Well,
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's been great. Awesome. Do you have any questions?
no.
No.
You?
No.
You guys have
It's
any?
fun.
Oh,
It's
Thank
fun.
you for inviting us into your relationship.
well, thank you
Thank
for helping us out. It's
We
been
appreciate
awesome.
it. Yes.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
You gotta come up with some,
Still didn't stop it. What?
I
you
know.
gotta come up with some music to kind of